आफ्टरनून एवरीवन। इतनी कम एनर्जी लेकर के आए हो? ये एम है आपका। This second phase of preparation after completing the foundation courses or maybe self-study completing course, this is more difficult. This requires more dedication and this requires more support from our side as well. The real challenge begins when you fail. If you have not done well in prelims, the real challenge becomes because your confidence level is down and your support from family in terms of finance is not that which you might got during the starting of your journey. You have to self-sustain morally and financially. So self-sustaining is something which is from inside. अब आपको एक ऐसा aspirant बनना है which the person who would be able to crack with this self-dedication. In this self-dedication, we can act like a catalyst, we can act like a support, we can act like a fuel. But actually the engine is yours. Fuel cannot do anything if the engine is not working in condition. So your self-dedication is most important. As far as this program is concerned, AIM, it is very comprehensive. If you are able to do 80% assignment, I don't find any reason that you will not be in the list. If you are able to do 100% with the full dedication, you should be able to do it with flying colors. So this is very comprehensive and it will cover all the requirements of the mains, prelims as well as for the interviews. So this is that much comprehensive designed. AIM program is headed by Mr. Asif and the team of mentors. They are very dedicated, and from day one when we started this program here, the same team is continuing. So they are all experienced people, except one or two people who have got the selections in the better services. They have changed the career, but most of the mentors are same. And their experience will definitely help you to find your weaknesses and how to bridge them, how to make a plan of your study. So we will definitely help. Now, how you will best utilize this program in adding value in your preparation, that will depend on you. We expect you come frequently, talk to mentors, meet them, interact them, submit your assignment, take their feedback. So this part and this element from you is expected. We are dedicated, but if you are not willing to exercise or you are not willing to take the benefit of this, it will be incomplete. This program is not only effort incentive, but cost is also very high. It is very intensive cost. You have paid huge amount and we are spending because of there will be a group of students under the one mentor and we have to keep the experienced mentors, so the cost is incurred. It is like filling the water and consuming the water from the same tank. But everything will be waste if you do not take the advantage or we are not able to give our commitment. We will ensure from our side, because ultimately word of mouth is the success of this program. When we get selections, when we get the good stories from your end after the selection, that is our future bread and butter. So we will not leave any corner unturned or any efforts incomplete. We will definitely put our best possible efforts. Many of you have been part of the Next IAS ecosystem during the foundation or maybe in some other courses. You have realized and you have felt that is why you have come again. So you have already trusted us, and many of you, you have been part of this institute since last 1 year or more than 1 year. So you know this commitment from the other side. And those who are coming first time in our ecosystem, I assure and I give this commitment that we will be one step ahead than your own efforts. हमारे efforts आपके efforts से एक कदम आगे ही रहेंगे. So take this pledge that this will be my last attempt where I have to get selected. I don't want to go for the further more attempts. So with that kind of the internal commitment ki 2027 would be my final attempt and I have to get selected in this attempt, उस dedication, उस commitment के साथ आगे बढ़िए. Competition is never easy. It has been never easy in the past. आज लोग बोलते हैं कि now the paper has become difficult. I appeared in civil services prelims mains during 2001, 2002. उस समय भी हम लोगों को लगता था paper is very difficult. Difficulty level is gone high, then the knowledge level also has gone high. Resources are also readily available. More teachers are available, and more customized support is available. So that is resulting more cutoff, or the difficulty level of questions is going higher because the UPSC is able to experience the response, and better responses are submitted by the aspirants. So day by day, this difficulty level will keep on rising. People who are making noise outside, they are saying that the prelims is difficult and CSAT is difficult. I think we should not fall in that trap. Difficulty level is high for everyone. ऐसा तो है नहीं कि किसी के लिए difficult है, किसी के लिए easy है. In fact, I always believe, it is my personal belief, if the paper is difficult, it is favor for the sincere students. It helps these aspirants who have dedicatedly and religiously studied. जिनको तुक्का मारना था उनके लिए डिफिकल्ट पेपर बेकार है. सो डिफिकल्टी लेवल व्हेन इट इज हाई. IIT JEE का पेपर हमेशा टफ आता है. एट 40%, 45% हमेशा एडवांस कोर्स की बात कर रहा हूँ, एडवांस टेस्ट की. हमेशा वहाँ पर अच्छे मार्क्स, मतलब 45%, 50% में भी लोगों का सिलेक्शन हो जाता है. एंड दिस इज सिंस 1980, 1970. I appeared in IIT JEE, cracked IIT JEE in 1994. आप लोगों का तो उस समय बर्थ भी नहीं हुआ था. उस समय हम लोग 30% पेपर अटेम्प्ट कर पाते थे और 30% में मेरी 1600 रैंक थी. सो दिस डिफिकल्टी लेवल है हाई और टफ और लो. दिस शुड नॉट बी द फैक्टर ऑफ माई प्रिपरेशन. ये सबके लिए है. व्हाट इज द फैक्टर ऑफ माई प्रिपरेशन इज सिलेक्शन. अब मुझे सेलेक्ट होना है इन द करंट सर्कमस्टांसेस. हाउ कैन आई मेक ए डिफरेंस. और मुझे इसमें क्या करना है. दैट इज माई स्टोरी ऑफ नेक्स्ट 1 year. सो नाउ एवरी डे एंड एवरी आवर ऑफ ए डे बिकम्स इंपॉर्टेंट. देयर विल बी योर फ्रेंड्स. अभी वो थोड़ा 1 हफ्ते सोचेंगे, 15 दिन विचार करेंगे कि फिर 1 महीने के बाद स्टार्ट करेंगे. एंड दिस 1 month टाइम कैन मेक ए बिग डिफरेंस इन योर परफॉर्मेंस. सो एवरी डे बिकम्स इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम टुडे. ऑलरेडी 2 weeks are over after the prelims exam. In fact, अब ज़्यादा ही हो गए, 3 week होने वाले हैं. You have taken enough rest. You have analyzed your weaknesses. अगर नहीं analyze करा है, invest 1 or 2 more days. At least understand yourself and begin a journey based on your capability. If you are already at level X, उसके ऊपर जाना है. If you are level Y, तो यहाँ से जाना है. If you are at level Z, तो फिर नीचे से start करना है. तो आपको अपना लेवल पता होना चाहिए. एंड दिस शुड बी नोन इन एवरी सब्जेक्ट. इन ऑल दीज सब्जेक्ट्स यू शुड नो योर प्रिपरेशन लेवल एंड देन यू आर स्टार्टिंग. एम प्रोग्राम इज डिजाइंड इन ए वे कि जिसका लेवल X है, Y है, Z है, हमें सबको लेकर के चलना है. बट यू हैव टू कस्टमाइज योर आंसर्स अकॉर्डिंगली. आप एक अच्छा आंसर लिख सकते हैं तो और अच्छा लिखेंगे. सो योर सेल्फ असेसमेंट, which I will say introspection is most important. Your commitment is more important. Time management is important. And our preparation is not limited to only UPSC. This is also the fact. And we should be on ground. I should understand that ki all of you cannot be selected in civil service. But all of you can be selected one way or the other way, or one place or at the other place. So you should keep yourself open for plan B. आपको स्टेट PCS भी लिखना पड़ सकता है. You may be writing the Bihar, UP, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan Public Service Commissions. If you qualify or if you meet qualification and eligible requirements, तो आप हो सकता है कि RBI का भी एग्जाम लिखें, इकोनॉमिक सर्विस का भी लिखें. So keep those options open. Right? हमारा टारगेट सिविल सर्विस है. It should remain. But I should not stick to only this plan. So I should keep my other options open. इसका मतलब ये है कि you should not become handicapped after 1 year or 2 years. So this preparation phase gives you the enough opportunity to diversify. Civil services is my priority and that is my preference, but it is not the full stop कि इसके बाद फिर कोई आगे जर्नी नहीं है, इसके अलावा कोई और डेस्टिनेशन नहीं है. कीप दैट एलिमेंट इन द माइंड. हम पढ़ाई करेंगे, यूपीएससी पर फोकस करेंगे. आपने 1 साल ऑलरेडी दिया है, 2 साल ऑलरेडी दिए हैं, 1 साल और दे रहे हो, बट एट द सेम टाइम हमें और कौन सा एग्जाम लिखना है, लेट अस कीप इट ओपन. आई एम नॉट डिस्करेजिंग कि आप सिविल सर्विस पे अपना टेंशन कम कर दो, ऐसा नहीं कर रहा हूँ. मैं सिर्फ ये कह रहा हूँ कि आप अगर यूपी पीसीएस को लिखना चाहते हैं तो वो भी लिखिए. इट विल हेल्प यू. एंड एट टाइम आई हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड कि स्टूडेंट एक एग्जाम में सेलेक्ट हो जाते हैं, दे परफॉर्म बेटर इन दी हाईएस्ट लेवल. सो देर आर मैनी एग्जाम्पल्स who have done well in the PCS, they have done better in the civil service in the next attempt. तो आप उसको भी आप माइंड में रखिए. दैट शुड नॉट लिमिट योर सेल्फ कि नहीं सिविल सर्विस के अलावा और कोई फॉर्म ही नहीं भरेंगे, और अगर नहीं हुआ तो इसके अलावा फिर और कोई तरीका नहीं है, फिर वो पंखा ढूंढने लगेंगे. वो वाली स्टेज नहीं होनी चाहिए. राइट. सिविल सर्विसेज एस्पिरेंट्स की जो पर्सनालिटी में ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन होता है, वो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन आप किसी और एजुकेशन सिस्टम में पाएंगे ही नहीं. You become more resilient, you become more hardworking, you develop mental stamina, you learn writing skills, you learn the aptitude skills to eliminate options, comprehension learn करते हैं आप, reasoning learn करते हैं, and all these elements transform your personality from a common student to a elite student. फिर आप उस 0.1% population में आ जाते हैं who can understand कि जो बाहर चल रहा है उसमें सच्चाई कितनी है. जो यूएस और इजराइल और ईरान के बीच में जो ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट चल रहा है, इसके पीछे एक्चुअल रीजन क्या है, ये आप समझ सकते हो, बाकी लोग नहीं समझ सकते. सो यू आर ऑलरेडी एडिंग लॉट ऑफ वैल्यूज इन योर पर्सनालिटी विच विल हेल्प यू टू फ्लॉरिश इन दी लाइफ. हम लोगों में यहाँ पर नेक्स्ट आईएएस में इन एकेडमिक स्फीयर आई एम टॉकिंग, वी आर मोर देन 100 इंक्लूडिंग टीचर्स, इंक्लूडिंग our mentors, academic coaches, और उसमें से हार्डली ऐसे 10% होंगे those who were able to crack exam, IAS, IPS, IRS के अलावा भी IES and so on, and they have left. Hardly 10%, but 90% they are successful in the career, they were not successful in the exam. So this preparation is not limited to selection. आप अगर बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ाई करेंगे, 1 साल अपना अच्छा डेडिकेशन के साथ अपने कमिटमेंट को पूरा करेंगे ना, even if you don't get selected in civil service, you will be successful in the life. And successful in the life, that is the ultimate objective. You should be happy, you should gain name and fame, you should be able to contribute to the society, you should be able to contribute to the family, and you should be happy from for yourself. Yes, definitely hoga. So you continue with this spirit, and in future wherever you feel you require further support from the next IAS, we will be always with you. And whatever is the need of examination, prelims, mains and interview, in तीनों phases के लिए whatever is the need of requirement of examination, we have integrated in this curriculum. And if there is anything which is required to be integrated further, without you, before you come and knock us, we will try to come and integrate it on time. So we will do it. हम लोग एक बहुत ambitious plan लेकर के चल रहे थे, but somehow it has been delayed. We wanted to, we are in process, in fact अभी थोड़ा time लग रहा है, a residential campus of around 200 students where we have the reading library, fooding, lodging, everything, and for this category of students who have completed their initial preparation. But somehow it has got delayed because work sometimes takes more time than anticipated. And coming from the civil engineering background, I was very hopeful that we will be able to complete in June, but timeline had gone to the August. We will be able to implement from 1st of September as of now. But project management जिन लोगों ने पढ़ा होगा लाइफ में, वो तो जानते हैं ना कि हम एक क्रिटिकल पाथ बनाते हैं और बाद में दूसरी पाथ में कोई एक्टिविटी सब क्रिटिकल हो जाती है. So still there is 10-15 days plus and minus, but once that is done, we'll circulate our applications. It will be completely on merit, but it will be a wonderful ambience and the learning ecosystem, reading facilities, content facilities, and then including the fooding. And what we believe that कि students वहाँ जब आए तो वहाँ से call letter लेकर के निकले. So with that kind of a spirit, we are designing it in South Delhi. So once it is done, we will circulate the applications. Those who would be interested at that moment of time, you can fill, so that we will invite the applications separately. And apart from what I have told here, there are many more things to be shared, and the content, the AIM team, Mr. Asif and the other team members will continue. I wish you all the best, and we will be happy to see the not only ranks but top ranks from this batch. And this, you are one of the most potential candidates, क्योंकि जो एक साल तैयारी करने के बाद सेकेंड स्टेज में आप लोग पहुंचे हैं, दिस इज द एक्चुअल फेज वेयर द वैल्यू एडिशन विल बी डन. अभी तो आपने सिर्फ यूपीएससी को समझा है, एग्जाम को समझा है, सिलेबस को समझा है, लेकिन उसको परफॉर्म करना कैसे है अब वो समझना है और वो करना है. सो दिस फेज इज मोर एफर्टफुल फ्रॉम योर एंड. क्लास जब चल रही होती है ना टीचिंग, तो वहां पर क्या है कि मोस्ट ऑफ द टीचिंग इज प्री प्लान्ड, बट यहां पर एक्सप्लोर बहुत करना पड़ेगा आपको. एंड व्हेन यू हैव टू कम आउट विद द असाइनमेंट, सबमिट करोगे, इवेल्युएशन होगा, फिर उसको आप फीडबैक लोगे. यू हैव टू come again and again and try this habit to interact with the mentors as much as possible. और जितना आप interact करेंगे उतना आप अपनी weaknesses को improve कर पाएंगे. So have that spirit कि I have to interact frequently as and when required. Unnecessary time नहीं waste करेंगे, लेकिन जरूरत है तो जरूर आएंगे. All the best and thank you very much. एक और मैं आपको just I'm sharing. How many of you have joined AIM plus CAVA? Already maybe 25-30% or even more. CAVA course will have lot of additions in your preparation. आप ये मत सोचिए कि I am sitting on this side of the table तो इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ. You must be thinking कि मैं इसलिए encourage कर रहा हूँ कि you join CAVA, we will have the enrollments. But actually current affairs value addition program will be highly useful, and it is mains plus prelims both. Initially it will be mains phase, then prelims phase, and then after the prelims is over again mains. तो इसलिए आप ना, if you can convert or if you want to convert from AIM to AIM plus CAVA, it will be very useful to your preparation. And Dipin ji के बारे में कई लोग जानते ही होंगे. He is very hard working, and both our team members, Asif ji and Dipin ji, they are best in their field. So it can be a very good combination. अगर आप लोगों को लगता है कि it will be useful, आप उसको AIM से AIM plus CAVA में ट्रांसफर ले सकते हैं. This is just I am sharing as you wish. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. And we can be a little less serious now, right? Right. Usually, when CMD sir is there, all of us are a little, serious. When the boss is there, you are a little more cautious, right? Now, everyone will start talking also now, right? Okay. So, first of all, welcome to the AIM program 2027. Right. It's great to see all of you here, and I said this last year also, but I say this here also, that it's a great responsibility for us, because you're trusting us, right? This is the 4th year of AIM program, right? We have learned from the program every year, right? And like when every year Apple launches a new version of iPhone, right? Now, what is the version? 17, right? So they say that, this is the best version of Apple, right? This is the best version of AIM so far, right? We have learned from students. And you'll notice over the years that, we have constantly taken feedback at every stage. After a subject is completed, after assignments are completed, after mains is over, after prelims is over. And we have probably hundreds of feedback forms. And we have collected all these feedbacks and we process those feedbacks and we make changes into the program. And what we have realized over the years is that first year was a completely different, I'm going to use the word product, course, it's the same thing, right? I'll interchangeably use this. We started the program with a different intention or with a different understanding. Because we have been doing as a team mains test series for, I think this is the 12th year. I think the first year I did test series was 2016. So it's been almost 12 years since we have been conducting test series, right? From the time when not even a single data point was there in the answer sheet to today when an average answer sheet has 100 to 150 data points. The way people have written has changed. And the way we have played a role in the way people have written has been there, right? I think the best compliment that I've ever received is that, you have increased the cutoff by 50 marks. Because we made people do this, I would quote Vibhasar out here, earlier there was spoon feeding happening. Now you are chewing and spitting into the mouth, right? That's the extent of spoon feeding that is happening. And this is being reflected in the way people are writing answers. Now, I will use references of toppers of this year just to give a sense of what is working, right? Now, this year we have a ranker who was part of our mains test series, and his name is Akansh Dul. Some of you might be familiar with him. The amount of content that is being written in an answer is crazy. And by the time you come to mains in 2027, the level would have gone up. Now, 2020, we did not find a single data in an economy paper 3. Now that's 150, right? And by the time you guys come, earlier it was okay to have a database introduction. Now you need to have multi-dimensional or tri-dimensional introduction. That means your answer should have a definition, you should have a data and a diagram, right? And believe me, that's not going to happen on the day of examination. So everything that we do in the next 12 to 15 months is to put you in a position to write such great answers to solve prelims in best possible way. We cannot guarantee the outcome. I would not go to the extent of saying that everyone who's sitting here will clear prelims or clear mains. But when we designed the program, we had an intention that we should be able to give the best possible attempt for the student, right? We reverse engineered. I think maybe some of you would have heard this in the counselings, right? We basically reverse engineered what was working for toppers. We realized 3 things: great notes, lot of practice, and someone to guide them, right? Maybe it's a brother, maybe it's someone who's in service, maybe it is a roommate, a senior in college, junior in college, whatever. So this is the ecosystem what we wanted to rebuild in this program. So I was talking about why we started AIM program, right? So we were doing mains test series for a long time, and we realized that we were creating a system where people were taking admissions but not necessarily able to make the best use of it. Because in a mains test series, what was happening was that there was a test at the end of every week, right? So there's a syllabus target. Some of you would have done mains test series. So there's a syllabus target, and end of the week there is a test that is happening. Now, human nature is such that you always overestimate what you can do on the long term, and you underestimate what you can do in the short term. So people started piling up, right? Everyone would say be active. This would happen in a way here also because peak energy is now, right? You're all in that mode. You're in that vengeance mode. You how can I fail? I can't fail. I'll do everything possible. And I think the challenge is in having sustained motivation rather than sporadic motivation. Right now, many of you are in that sporadic motivation phase. You join courses, you buy books, you do all those things with that intention that, I can't be a failure. I have to do this, right? So we realized that, when you have a test at the end of a week, we will not be able to guide what a student does throughout the week. And people started piling up. You'll be surprised with the number of tests that counts for evaluation in a full year test series, right? I think the average is below 25%. That means if the total number of tests that a student is eligible to write is 20, and there are 100 admissions, ideally you should have 2,000 copies coming for evaluation. And we were seeing only 25% of that at peak. And within that also, obviously, there will be variation. There will be people who have done 75%. There will be people who have done 50%, 10%. We did an analysis of last year's AIM data also. Now, unlike last year, one thing that we have this year is more efficient tools, right? Where we can feed all the assignments, all the assessment tests, all the mentorship sessions. We did 7,400 mentorship sessions last year. between June and May, 7,400. The maximum number of mentorship sessions that a student took was 84. One student met his mentor 84 times in this duration. Can you believe? Right? There are extremes also. There are people who did not meet substantially also. We realized that there is a direct correlation between the number of tests being written and the performance that's going up. Performance of students who have written more than tests is significantly higher than performance of students who have written. This is all numbers, this is data, I can give you the details. So whatever we say, you write, you keep writing, you keep meeting the mentor. There is a direct correlation between number of students who have higher mentorship sessions with their mentors with the number of students who are writing more number of tests. And this is a direct correlation, right? So when you're meeting your mentor more number of times, you're writing more tests, your marks are improving. Everything is connected, right? So we realized that we need to create a course which will give a plan across the week, right? Tomorrow you need to do something, day after tomorrow you need to do something. And that's where we came with the idea of AIM program. We had two choices. We had a choice where we could go for a customized plan. And I think that's what many of the institutions are doing, where they say that, you come to us, we'll give you a plan that suits you. Right? And there the problem was that, accountability was difficult because people's understanding of where they stand with respect to different subjects is very subjective. I think many of you have already filled up that we get to know you form. And that was very interesting, right? I'll come to that. We have very interesting insights from it, right? And there also, I think people's perception, and there is no correlation between perception of where you stand versus how confident are you to clear. There are large number of people whose perception of where they stand is not so great, but everyone's perception of their ability to clear is very high. There's no correlation, right? But I think the goal out here is that we are trying to achieve that, right? We are not talking about today. We are talking about June 2027, or we are talking about August 2027. Everything that we do today is adding up to that day. Day of prelims, day of mains. On the day of, I see this when previous year AIM students come to discuss copies with us, and then there are freshers who are trying to get feedback. And then after this AIM student leaves, the other guy asks, who probably has written 2-3 mains, asks, "Iska kaun sa attempt tha?" Right? Because they are surprised with the kind of answers that people are writing. And again, I'll repeat all these things again. It is not because of AIM program. It is not because of Next IAS. Any student who has the discipline to sit and write this many answers, or any student who has the discipline to sit and make notes will see improvement. AIM has only given an outline and a structure around this. Like, if you are not part of the program and if you achieve everything that we are telling you, that means sitting and making notes for 6 hours, writing a test every week, completing all the subjects within this duration, obviously you'll see improvement. AIM has only created a structure. It has given you a mentor who will follow up, who will give you feedback, and it has also given a peer group, right? Now, you are sitting in a room where the decision to join this program is primarily yours. And this might not be the case when you join foundation. Right? In foundation classes, we have seen that there are a lot of students who are joining because their parents have forced them to join, or their relatives have said that you're good at studies, you should do this. And you have a lot of people who join because of that. But in this room, I don't think there will be people who are joining a program like AIM without being, having that self-conviction, right? Now, the thing about self-conviction, and I think I've told this to people who came for counseling also, the challenge of an AIM-like program is that you have failed at different stages before you are here. So you have your element of doubt, right? Whether this will work, whether this exam is for me, can I crack this? Because at least everyone out here would have failed, or very high chances that most of you have failed at prelims at least once, right? So and this is after 1 year, 2 year, 3 year of preparation. We even have students who are in their 4th year of preparation. I have students who have written 2 mains and who have come and joined AIM. What happened was that last year and even this year, there are some students who had written mains, even gone to interview, did not have a great written score, joined AIM, and they have made improvements of 60, 75 marks. We have a ranker this year whose written score went from 305 to 410 in a span of year, right? Maybe the first attempt that he gave was not a serious attempt, he just gave it. But organically, we have not seen more than 10 to 15% growth year on year in the written score, right? When somebody is at 350, the chances of him jumping from 350 to 450 is almost nil. Can a person at 350 jump to 400? Very high chances, because that's a kind of organic growth that you can achieve. But now what we have seen is that in AIM, the students who are writing mains, the average GS score is 375 to 400. We have a significant number of people who are getting above 400. The first 6 months, we will be focusing on it. My role in this session and this workshop is to tell you what are we doing, why are we doing it, because before you trust the process, this is something my 10-year-old son said, that everyone talks about trust the process. How do you process the trust? Right? So we are going to process the trust first so that you can trust the process, because even after joining any program, you're going to come across people who are doing something else. Right? You're going to sit in a library where the person sitting next to you is doing something completely different, and you're thinking that, he's doing something better than me. Right? Now, the examination has created almost 1,000 rankers every year, and no two people's journey has been same. Everybody has tried different things. No two answers are same, right? It's like a fingerprint. I don't think in prelims you will find similar responses, but in mains I don't think any answer would be word to word same. People have done different things. So before I go ahead with the session, I want to crowdsource what are the challenges you're facing, or what are the challenges you're expecting to address with this program. And in a way, I want to show how various aspects of the program will address this problem. Okay. Anything, what are the challenges you have faced over the years with respect to your preparation?
सर अभी जो GS है वो 10% कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है.
Okay.
जो टेस्ट सीरीज है ऑप्शनल की वो भी स्टार्ट हो गई है.
Okay.
तो GS और ऑप्शनल को कैसे टैकल करें जब अभी फाउंडेशन की पूरी क्लासेस कंप्लीट नहीं हुई.
Okay. We'll talk about this, right? What else? Revising and sustaining information. What else? Inertia, right? Right. This is the only problem? I think there's much more number of problems. Okay. UPSC versus or plus other exams. Right. What else? Compressing answers in the into notes. Right. Okay. Extent of value addition. Right. Sources and how much? Right. I think that was one of the most common response we got in the get to know you, right? Plans versus execution. Right. Anyone else? This is a very serious concern, right? I think this is the most common concern of a mains appearing candidate to complete paper. Right. Time management, I think somebody talked about it, how to manage GS plus optional, right? Mains oriented notes. Okay. One-pager notes. You said something. One-pager notes? Okay. Okay. Integrating current affairs into I don't think that's possible. You're gonna, I say this to people who write mains, like, you're gonna consume all the content and you're gonna vomit it into the paper, literally, right? Because there's no digestion of a lot of things, right? You will develop an ability to make almost real data, because you know approximately this will land there because of logic. That's what you'll eventually land. Digesting data. What else? Yes. Answer presentation. Okay. It's already over, no? Results are out. Right. Now you're certain. Right. Based on this paper, I understand. I think this year's paper has created that mental block for next year also. Because an average student who wrote mains would have read Lakshmikant at least 5 times. Right, and only 5 questions came, right? So ROI was not great, right? What else? Okay. Mains. Prep. Yeah. Okay. Thinking while writing, okay? See, what we have realized is that people who score well, no, they are basically replicating from muscle memory and not thinking during the examination hall. Not for every question. I'm assuming out of 20 questions, they'll recollect. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, see, eventually what happens is that on the day of mains, you are coming across questions and themes that you have already written. So you have already experienced many of these themes through the workbooks and assignments and assessment. One of the things that we are trying to achieve is to expose you to a significant portion of the syllabus. We usually do this also, like, by the time you're doing mains, August 20th, or by August 30th, I think we would have completed polity, economy, geography. And you will be able to first-hand see whether you are able to solve the paper. Because we have always seen a direct correlation between what we are covering and what is being asked. Not because we are super smart, just because we have a wider net, right? For an 80 question examination, we are probably exposing you to 1500 to 2000 questions. So for every theme, you are being exposed to almost 20x of weightage. So we'll come there. Anyone else? Anything else? Right. There are some concerns from the online, how to use model answers, how to make mains ready notes. Okay. The online, I think, transmission has stopped. We have to take a minute for that to start. Right. So some of the online students are revision, time management, lack of clarity, motivation, how to sustain, how to make mains ready notes, how to use model answers. No confidence in answer writing, sources, how not to complicate the process, static versus current affairs. Right? This is fine? We can start? Okay, all right. So the session is being streamed for students who have enrolled in the online mode also, right? So let me connect my laptop. I was seeing a shorts yesterday. Right? It was basically saying that we live in a world which is life has become a competitive sport, right? You're looking at completing your circles. You're looking at you're not reading anymore. You're completing book streaks. You're not running. You're looking at HRV and you're looking at average heart rate. You're not eating food. You're counting micronutrients and carbohydrates and calories. Unfortunately, we are in an age, everybody has some kind of device or something which is constantly measuring everything, right? And I think that aligns with what we do, right? We will make UPSC preparation a competitive sport, right? We will write as much as we can. Sorry. Okay. So, program is built around 3 pillars: learning, testing, mentoring. Most of the questions which you have raised across the program will be covered in the session, right? So, learning is what you, one second. Learning is a part where your assignments and workbooks come into picture, right? Let me pull out one of the workbooks. This is a workbook, right? This is a polity workbook. Now, what we are expecting you from day 1, week 1, is that you will use this as a means to consolidate your notes. This is what we are trying to achieve in 3 weeks, right? This much amount of writing. Some of you were already part of foundation out here. The amount of tests that you have written in a year through weekly weekly class tests and monthly class tests, most likely we'll do that in the first 2 weeks, right? That's the intensity of what we are trying to achieve. Now, before we go anywhere, first rule, don't transfer today's task to tomorrow, right? Somebody asked me that, how much time do you invest for A? I think it should be the other way around. How much time do you have after A? This should be your priority. Now, from day 1, we are expecting that we will use this to consolidate the concepts. This has been designed with the idea that the questions in this book are based on last 10 years PYQ, right? So does it cover every theme under polity? No. We have basically identified that, okay, there are chances of these questions coming higher and, okay, there are chances of these questions coming higher, and so we have to have notes for these questions. Now, the workbook questions have been designed in a way that these questions are very open-ended. What is, why is, where is, and most of the questions will have more than one part. Now, this works around the concept that you will go for active research, right? And we strongly believe that when you sit down and write what you have understood, the chances of you retaining or the chances of you internalizing that concept is higher. That is why we want people to write. I'm sure you would have heard this from your parents also, that, write down. Imposition likhwate hai, right? I think all of us at some point of time would have done some kind of imposition, right? The act of writing and researching is the primary backbone of an assignment. So every day we have defined, so if you look at the structure of a workbook, we have syllabus target for each day. We have weightage of marks from that syllabus target that has, so we are also telling you that, how much marks have come from that questions, how many questions have come from that area. Because before you start writing the assignment itself, we want you to have conviction that this is a theme and area from which questions are coming. Now, for every question that is being provided in this, there are 4 things which we do. On the morning of the day, it's an automated thing. At 6 o'clock in the morning, you will get approach to the question, which is basically a visual explanation of what is expected in those assignments. So it's usually around 20 to 30 minutes video, right? Where it will tell that, okay, these are the questions of the day. In this question, we are expecting you to do this, 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 right? We do not give the solution and the video explanation of the question in the morning with the primary motive that we want you to research and write, right? If it is just an act of copy pasting, I think it will not have as much impact as you researching and writing. Now, what we have realized is that the outcome of this would be different for different people. For a first timer, I don't think no 2 people would write the same set of things in these workbooks. So for a first timer, they will write something which is directly from their foundation notes. For someone who's already appeared for mains, see, one problem that we have seen in senior aspirants is that the relevancy of the content that they write in mains is outdated. So you will see that there are seniors who have been writing for 5 years, 6 years, and a substantial percentage of their content base would be from 5 years ago. 6 years ago. The judgments that they are quoting is older. The data that they are quoting is older. So an assignment also helps such kind of people to update what you are writing in these books. So they'll pick up what you call latest developments. They'll go back to current affairs. They'll go back to their magazines and notes, and then they'll add that into this. Now, we have assigned 2 pages per question. One difference that we made from last year to this year is that we have started including exercises on the 3rd page. Not for every question, but wherever possible we have included, so at least 25-30% of assignment questions have exercises. Either we are expecting that you'll do it on the day of the writing assignment, or you'll do it on Saturday as an act of revision, right? We have also color-coded the 3rd page, graded the third, given a gradient to the 3rd page this year. Because last year we started with this concept of aim storming, which is literally brainstorming in a different way, right? What we realized is that the 3rd page prompted people to stretch their assignments into the 3rd page. Our intention of making an assignment was that, it should be concise. Now, one more thing I'll add this time is that when you're making your assignments, it should be written in the format in which you eventually expect to write in your answers. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? It should not be comprehensive. It should be crisp. If you're writing a value addition, it should be exactly in the format in which you're eventually expecting to write in the answers. Did you notice something? I wrote answer writing, arrow, this. This is what people are doing in value addition. They are not writing whole sentences. They are putting an example and they're putting an arrow and writing it. So one of the things that you should do when you're writing assignments this time is that it should emulate what you eventually expect to write in the actual answers. Because the more you see that format in your assignments, the more likely are you to retain and replicate that into the answers, right? So, and I think one more thing that we have added this year is that we have a daily accountability tracker, right? This is basically saying that, what is your time slot for the activity? How much time will you spend for aim storming? How much for reading and researching? How much time on current affairs? So you can plan your day. And maybe you can even take a screenshot and send it to your mentor. Maybe you can upload it somewhere so that you have some kind of a plan in the morning. Now, from the get to know you form, what we have realized is that not everybody has a performance which is aligned with the schedule, right? Some people are late night people. Some people are early morning people. Some people don't know where, at what time their performance peaks. We had a AIM roundtable recently, and there was a student, Saurabh. He has secured a rank this year. So he said something interesting. Coming from corporate, he had a culture that, he will not do anything on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He has a habit in his life that, I am only working on weekend, deadline pe kaam karenge. I will finish whatever I have to do in 5 days in 3, right? So different things have worked for different people, right? I also say this, that, AIM is an opportunity to reset your life, because it's not just the act of doing this task. Anyone who is able to develop that discipline to sit down and do a task for 5 hours will see a transformative change in their life. Because we are not, and that is why the most difficult phase of this program is the first 1-2 months. Somebody was saying this, that, the maximum amount of fuel that an airline or a rocket takes is to take off. Once it is in trajectory, it mostly glides. So the first 3 months is like that takeoff phase, especially the first month. Your ability to sustain that habit, develop that habit. I think we would have told this to many of you who were coming to join, that, attrition has been our biggest problem. Attrition in the sense that the people who join the program and the people who survive. I have statistical number for this. How many people were active in the first month, who are not active in the second month, who were not active in the third month. If somehow you are able to sustain the first 1 or 2 months, your chances of surviving this program is very high. So one of the commitments that you have to give in this room today is that you have to commit to yourself that, I will not carry forward the task of the day to the next day, right? I will complete my assignment on day 1. So each day there is a activity tracker. Each question has 3 pages. Some of these questions have exercises. So some of these exercises are even to the extent that, mark these locations in the map, match the following. Some exercises are from a prelims perspective. Some exercises are from a mains perspective. Some are basically asking you for keywords, some are asking you for examples. So eventually what we are expecting is that you can flip through this, or you have collected enough number of things. So we have, so this is the week 1 target, and every week on Saturday we are expecting that we will do a consolidation of all the assignments we have done from Monday to Friday. So average day, the number of assignment is 5 to 6 questions, and by end of the week, you're going to write 30 questions. It looks very small because you're thinking that, I can do karna hai to 5 hi hai. You can do it 1 week. Can you do it for the next 6 months? Can you do it for the next entire year, a sustained motivation? So this is something that you have to, so I have students who come back after 3 weeks and inquire about joining the program again. By the time the people who have joined has completed this much. And there's another thing that is advantageous for doing something, because this is very quantified. It's not like, it's not open-ended. The other problem that we have seen with unstructured, customized preparation is that you can study polity for 2 months and still polity won't be completed. And I think many of you have gone through this cycle. You started with a subject and it went on for such a long duration, and by November, December, all of us panic for prelims. And by then you have only completed 3 subjects and you're not confident on that also. If I ask you what is the outcome, you don't even have notes ready, you don't have answer writing practice ready, none of this thing will be there. So this is the backbone of the program, the workbooks. You get 8 workbooks for different subjects, for different phases, and we are expecting that by end of the program mains phase, by mid of December, you would have completed all these assignments. Now, Saturday, we have also seen students used to cover up anything that they may not have been able to do from Monday to Friday. It's quite possible that, something came up, parents visited, you had a commitment that you could not avoid, you had to take up a day. Saturday is also a day where you can cover up, consolidate, right? Sunday is test day, right? Irrespective of whether you have confident, not confident, doesn't matter. Somebody said that, how can I be confident to write answers? Nobody started at a point where they were confident. Even the students we are seeing who are writing great answers, if you see their initial answers, it was not great. It's basically an outcome of iterations, right? You're going to improve. Maybe your first answer would be crap, right? But doesn't matter. No UPSC examiner is going to come and ask for the first answer that you wrote while giving the mark. The goal is the final answer which you write in the UPSC examination. And that is an outcome of iterations, again and again and again and again. We have introduced something this year which we are very excited about. We are calling it the scaffolding tests, right? So every subject, if it has 3 weeks, first 2 weeks are half test and the 3rd week is a full test. So normally in a test, what happens? You get a question paper, you get an answer booklet, and you get a solution. So we came up with a concept. This was the rationale behind this. Most of the time when a student writes a test and comes to the mentor or to me or anyone, they're basically criticizing all the things that you have done. आप तो ये कर सकता था, आपका पेपर में ये नहीं है, or this could have been done differently. You have not seen this dimension of the question. So feedback was reactive in nature after the mistake has been made. So we realized, okay, what if we could tell this to people while writing tests? We have done this, I have done this at my individual level. So some people who are not confident about answer writing, I tell them, take the question paper, come and meet me before you write the test so that I can give you some ideas to approach the questions, right? Approach the questions, right? And that's what we have tried to institutionalize. I'm going to show you an example of what a scaffolding sheet looks like. 1 second. This is a rough idea, right? So this is a question. How are climate change and sea level rise affecting the very existence of many island nations? This is the UPSC PYQ of CSE 2025, right? So what are the keywords? What is the tail word? What is the demand of the question? What is the expectation? We will not give the whole solution. We will not tell you what to write. We will tell you how to look at the question, how to interpret the question. What are the parts to this question? Is there a scope to add a diagram in this question? And this will come as a separate sheet. It will not be integrated into the question paper, because if there is someone who feels that, I don't need this, I want to learn it on my own, I want to experiment, I want to learn from trial and error, it's okay. So what we have decided is that in the answer booklet, we will give an option whether you have used a scaffolding sheet or not, so that you can tick. So that while evaluating or while giving a feedback, we know that whether you are guided with our suggestions or you did it on your own. So what we are hoping with this is that, across the next 6 months, you will have roughly 15 half tests. So there are going to be 15 instances where we are going to tell you how to approach these questions even before you have gone for evaluation or you have gone for mentorship. So we are hoping that this will give you ideas to interpret the question differently, to write the answers differently, and it will automatically improve the quality. Now, we have something called as, inferred demand. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this concept. Now, the direct demand of this question is that how climate change and sea level rise is affecting the existence of island nation. This is not the only demand out here. We strongly believe that a student should also address that other than climate change and sea level rise, what are the other factors which is affecting the island nations? There could be other factors. There is a lack of tourism, there is lack of employment. There are a lot of other things also which is affecting. Is climate change and sea level rise only affecting island nations? It's affecting others also. It's affecting large countries. It's affecting us. We are losing out islands, right? So when we are giving nudges, we want to show you that, this is not the only way to look at it. We'll also try to quantify how much percentage of marks space you should account for each part. So over the period of time, you will develop an ability to write answers where you are able to think in a particular direction and you are able to think fast. See, time is a constant which we will have to fight. Somebody asked, about paper completion. Irrespective of what we do, paper completion remains a challenge. In fact, what happens is that when you create more notes and when you create more, content, your ability to write faster reduces because you have more things to write. Your paper will get more dense, your answers will get more dense. And what we have realized is that time is constant, your handwriting and your speed is also constant. You're not going to magically write 500 more words within the given time. One thing that, I'm exploring this option. I think one of the problems that we have seen among students who are writing mains is handwriting, right? Now, last year, I think during the orientation, I suggested that, from day one, when you're starting to write assignments, try to write neatly. Try to fix the alphabets. What we have realized is that nobody has a bad handwriting on all alphabets. Most people have 3-4 alphabets which are not legible. So if from day one, right, across the next 6 months, we are going to write maybe 2,000-3,000 pages. We're going to write massive amount of writing is going to be done. If you can take a conscious effort, if you're someone who feels that my handwriting is not legible enough, Monday is a time when we can start on that project also. Slowly, gradually, we'll improve this. It's not going to have magical improvements in your paper on day 2, but believe me, it's like that stone cutter's analogy. You'll have a large stone and the stone cutter is hitting. For the first 50 hits, you're seeing no crack. And then at the 51st hit, the entire large stone breaks. So did it break because of the first hit? Did it break at the 51st hit? It is gradually building. So handwriting and any other constant problem, because whenever we see someone who's in that 350 to 375 bracket after a few attempts, we realize that there are some common underlying factors. One, paper completion. The student is not able to write all answers in the given time. 2, legibility. Legibility is a factor, irrespective of what people tell you. If the evaluator who is looking at a random anonymous paper is not able to consume what you have written, it's going to cost you. I'm not going to say that it's going to cost you too much, but half a mark here and there can add up to 15-20 marks. So one of the things that you have to commit to yourself is that I will write more legibly. By the time I write mains in 2027 August, my handwriting would be completely different. See, why I am bringing up this now is that the primary casualty of an improved handwriting is speed. Because the moment you change your handwriting, you will constantly focus on how are you writing. Now, if you're confused, are you the person who should take up this project? One exercise that I always suggest is ask people, random people, to read what you have written. If they are confused that you have written constitution or conjunction, you are in trouble. Because the evaluator sitting in that examination hall who is checking your paper, do you think they'll take that additional effort? Do you think they are going to ask the person next to them that, ye kya likha hai, aap dekh lo? They're not going to do that. You're an anonymous number to them, right? It's your goal that whatever you have written is easily consumed by the evaluator. So from Monday itself, I think we start. I'll explore if we can do a workshop on this, maybe try to get an expert on this. I think we have gone behind this problem, and what we realized is that there are exercise books in Amazon and all where you can do, you remember that 4-line books which we used to, it's back to school, right? Some of these things are cliche, right? But see, during interview phase, one of the most common advice people give is, look in the mirror and speak, right? It's a very silly thing, but it works because you start noticing that, how are you speaking? How is your facial expression? How is your diction? How is your, voice modulation? Body language, everything. Right now we have a 3-principle approach in interview, where we say that, you record yourself speaking. First, listen to the audio without the video. You keep it down. You're just listening to the sound. Then you can realize how many okay, how many G, ha. You have a lot of idiosyncrasies which you have, fillers which we do. Second, we say that, you mute the audio and you look at yourself speaking. Then you can see the body language, how much hand movement is happening. And the third time we say that, you look at with audio and video, right? So similarly, handwriting is something that we will start working on it. Let me explore if I can bring someone who can give you a session and tell you, because it's the act of holding your pen. It is the pen itself. It is the size of the font. It is the number of words in the line. It's the spacing between the lines. It's a few alphabets. And if you are able to fix it, it's probably worth 25 marks. Imagine 25 marks, that's massive. I'm saying 25 marks across essay, GS, optional. And it doesn't take a lot to add up 25 marks across 3 papers. You can do this exercise when you're leaving today, no? There is a book in the reception. It's called as the Topper's Journal. Some of you would have seen, it's a black and white book where toppers have written testimonials. Find the bad handwriting. You'll not find a bad handwriting in that book. Because all of those people who wrote that book are people who have secured a rank. And majority of them have good handwriting. So AIM is a journey where we are trying to fix every possible problem and hope everything adds up and it brings a transformative outcome. See, when you get X amount of mark next year, we will not be able to pinpoint and say that, मैंने ये किया था इसलिए ये हो गया. You're going to work on the content, you're going to work on the value addition, you're going to work on your writing skill, you're going to work on your speed, you're going to work on your handwriting, and then maybe you will get 1 more mark than the next person in every question, which puts you at 430 instead of 350. I'm saying in the context of GS, right? So this is your workbook. This is the target for the first 3 weeks. The books have come. I think some things are yet to come. You can collect this on Saturday. Even if some of you are enrolled online, but if you are nearby in Delhi NCR region, I would advise you to pick it up from here, because if we courier it, it takes longer time, right? Because by the time they pack and dispatch it, we are usually 3-4 days later from the first assignment. So you will be able to collect this. I also say this to people that, we are sitting on Wednesday. Take a break before we start on Monday, right? Now is a good time to watch a few silly movies, right? Do everything that you want to do in the next 3-4 days. Go out with friends. But once we start, right? I was reading about something called as Batman syndrome. How many of you watch Batman? I'm assuming, right? There's Bruce Wayne and then there's Batman. Bruce Wayne is a, flamboyant womanizer who enjoys life. But the moment he puts his mask, he's a vigilante. He has power, he's fearless. You need to have a Batman mode from Monday. Whoever you are in your life ends on Monday. Next 15 months, we are going to be on a mission mode. We are going to have, and this is not something that I was reading. Kobe Bryant calls himself Black Mamba on the court. Outside the court, he's Kobe Bryant. Inside the court, he's Black Mamba, right? So has precision, he has speed, everything on him. The moment we start this program, we are going to attack every problem that we have. What are the problems? We don't have notes which we can revise. We don't have answer writing experience. We don't have value addition. We don't have speed. We don't have good handwriting. We don't have recollection. So from Monday, once we start the program, we are going to focus on every program. This is a route. The mentors are a medium, right? Mentors are people who will help you, guide you, tell you what to write, give feedback on your papers. This is the process. This is what we have built. Majority of, we have circulated that form, no? I think 45% of people who have enrolled this year are people who have been recommended by someone who is already part of the program. And I think that's our biggest achievement, that we have people who keep joining. We even had someone who joined AIM the third time. I would not advise. I would not even advise joining it the second time. But some people like the, the schedule. They feel there is a, calendar, and there is something to do every day. So what I'm saying is that we have people who have recommended people who were part of the program. Many of you have come to admission with someone who was part of the program. So that is the word of mouth that we have built. And workbooks are one thing that differentiates us from any other mentorship program out here. Most mentorship programs are focusing on customized plan. You're coming, I'll give you a plan. You're coming, I'll give you a plan. But then we don't have a target to which we are trying to compete, right? So in 3 weeks, don't aim for perfection. Because once you aim for perfection, what happens is that there is no end to it. There is no, you'll have to write. You will get better at this. What we have realized is that in the beginning, most students have taken more than 1 hour to write each assignment. But by the time the second or third subject comes, they devise their own ways. And we are also not saying that, this is the only way to use workbooks. We have had candidates who have appeared for interview and all, who have used this purely from answer writing perspective. They have solved all 800, 900 questions. They did not make notes. We have 3 different ways which we have defined in the beginning. We are calling it the ideal approach, where you're going for note making. Second, answer writing. Third, shadow writing, where you're not going to write all the answer. You're just going to put value addition and keywords and examples and introduction and conclusion associated with the keyword. Now, this is something that we deploy as a fail-safe mechanism, because eventually when you have a significant backlog, it is not ideal for you to write every assignment as note, because you won't have the bandwidth or the time to do it. Then we say that, let's solve it, because you anyway have the solution, you have the video explanation, and we will also share assignments, best assignments, which has been written by others. So you have a reference point, what is working by others. All of these things will happen through the portal, right? This book will not be evaluated. It's not practical for us to evaluate assignments, because this is open book. We are not expecting that you will make mistakes on it. And if you're someone who wants the solution and the video to write these assignments, you start 1 day late, because then you'll have the assignment and solution of the previous day already available. Our ideal expectation is that you will write this from a note-making perspective. Now, we have had toppers. What they do is that they pin post-its into this. If they feel that there is some updation that has happened which they could not do, they add a sheet in between. I think if any of you want to see some of the toppers workbooks, I can show it. I have physical copies also in my room. So they insert additional pages, they put post-its, they color code it, but it should be filled in the next 3 weeks. And we have put a small square out here, and in the AIM kit you will be getting a sticker which is written aimed. The kind of satisfaction you get when you put that sticker out here, we believe certain things should be dramatic, right? Drama is important, it's part of our life. And so we have given you stickers for every workbook where you can put, I have aimed this book, this is your book, right? So this is the first component of it. Then we have something called as, so every question has approach in the morning, which will be uploaded in the morning, which is automated. It will reflect on the portal. End of the day, we will give you the solution and the video explanation. See, unlike any other program, the amount of deliverables which we have is massive. At any point of day, we are going to have at least 4 things that we have committed. Test, evaluation, mentorship meets. So it has been a Herculean task. It's a machinery on its own. I'm able to stand here and do this because we have a great team behind this program. And it's not year 1. We have fine-tuned our deliverables over the time, right? So assessment test, 2 types. One, half test, which will have the scaffolding sheets, which you can either choose or not to choose to use or not choose to use. It's completely up to you. But I would advise you to choose to use it, because then it will help you shape the way you're writing from day one. Because then you will make fewer mistakes on your own, because you're going to learn from others' mistakes and you're going to get advice while writing. Full test won't have scaffolding sheets. We are expecting that whatever lessons you have learned in the half test, you will implement in the full test. Tests would be evaluated, right? Tests would have mentorship feedback. Test would have video explanation. It will have a solution. Our solutions have approach. Our solutions have philosophy. Why is this question being asked? Our solutions have syllabus interlinkage. This theme, where else can you use? This is very important, because eventually what happens with respect to your mains preparation is that it becomes syllabus neutral or paper neutral, right? Now, most of the programs in UPSC preparation landscape is built around syllabus. We have built around tests and PYQ. We are going to use testing and more of PYQs to get you to be ready to deal with the kind of questions UPSC is sharing, right? So every test would be evaluated. You can go and discuss with your mentors, right? We have a fixed mentor from June to prelims, May 2027. I think this has already been communicated. It will be there in the welcome mail also. From June 2027 to August 2027, you will have subject matter experts, right? Someone who's helping you in answer writing, someone for ethics, someone for essay, someone for paper 2, paper 3. Most likely, I would be seeing your answers in June 2027. In case if somebody wants to come and show me, right? These 3 months are a little chaotic because of the mains phase, but September, October, November, if anyone wants to come and meet, I think in the welcome mail you have my email ID also, and any of you who have mailed or WhatsApp me would know that I respond to almost every messages and every mails. So my email ID is there, so you can, in case if you want to come and show me your assignments, or in case, we are not committing it in the phase. We are committing such kind of mentorship support between June to August post prelims. But in case if you are exploring that option, you can explore the availability and come and do that. It's an added possibility of based on availability, right? So this is the assignments that we have. These are the scaffolding sheets. So we'll try to visually explain. Okay. Now, I think one of the goals that you should have, like I said in the beginning, that we have direct correlation between students who are having maximum number of mentorship sessions with score. We have direct correlation between students who are writing maximum number of tests with score. What is our end goal? To be able to write better answers, to be able to solve better questions. How do you know that you're doing better? You're getting more marks, right? Maybe the first test you write in a half test, you're going to get 30. Eventually, the peak marks that we give in a half test is 45 to 50. I think our maximum 50 to 55. Your goal should be to reach 45 to 50 in your written tests. And your goal is to meet your mentors and integrate their feedback into the answer. So I usually advise this as a best practice when you meet your mentor. You should not put open-ended questions, or how do I prepare? That's an essay. You can say a lot of things and still it doesn't add value. I would prefer someone coming and saying that, you know, in this question I have used this type of introduction, what else could I have done? In this answer, I have a problem with completing in time. What should I have avoided? We have a topper this year, Kiran Kamate, rank 52 or 53 or something. Almost every answer in his paper, one part was a schematic hub and spoke diagram. And that was the only way he could have completed the paper. So when you meet a mentor, they will be able to show you what are the best practices that others are doing, how you can integrate that into your own writing. And this is what happens, right? Now, along with this, I think one of the questions that I want to address is, how do you balance AIM with other programs? Our expectation of commitment to the program is 5 to 6 hours, 1 hour per question. And that is going to come down, 1 hour per assignment. So we assume that you are going to dedicate 5 to 6 hours for AIM, and whatever time is left is for your other things. Maybe you're attending an optional class, maybe you're doing your optional. You will have a traction problem in the first month. So first month, I will suggest that you try to not do too many things. If you have a class running, that's a different thing. But if you can wait out from mid-June to mid-July before you onboard optional into your preparation strategy, that would be advisable. Because initially, I don't want you to be in a mode where you're thinking that, I can't do this. I don't want you to burn out. I want you to learn to able to balance this out, right? See, whether you like it or not, we have gotten into an examination which is difficult to crack. If it was easy, everyone would have cracked it. You and I know that it is a difficult exam. It's highly competitive. Some of the best minds in the world are preparing for this examination. Everyone sitting in this room at some point of your life would have been an academically bright student, and somebody in the family would have said that, aapka school topper hai, aap prepare kar lo, UPSC. This is the usual dictum, right? That's the advice that everyone gets. Or you have an aspiration that, okay, I want to crack this. So you have come into a competitive examination, so time is less. I don't think people are able to prepare 12 hours at this phase. Many people say that I sit for 12, but I don't think anyone is able to do more than 10. I believe in 3 slots of 3 hours, right? 3 into 3 into 3. And this is what I feel is practical at this point of time, right? You are going to have better time closer to prelims and closer to mains. I remember asking one of the toppers, how long do you study? So he said, if I'm awake, I'm studying. This was a response. And that's the phase which is 1 month or 2 months before prelims and 1 month or 2 months before mains. Many of the people who have qualified prelims in the last 2 days will be going into that kind of a mode. But at this phase, I think if you're able to pull 9 to 10 hours, it's awesome, right? So what we are thinking is that when you have to write these 87, 90 assignments, it's gonna take you 87, 90 hours to do these assignments. But our expectation is that once done, it is gonna take you 9 to 10 hours to revise this. So you have a single source polity workbook from which you can, so this is 87 assignments. You're gonna write 40 questions in the next 3 weeks, 2 half tests and 1 full test. So cumulatively that's around 130 assignments in this. And you'll also be writing the MTS and the surprise test and other things which will be part of the program. And along with that, I think you will end up writing almost 200 themes for polity. The weightage of polity is 8 questions. For 8 questions, you will end up exploring 200 themes. And you will eventually realize that there are not many things which you can see. You have comparison of constitution, and comparison of constitution always happens with 3 countries: France, Britain, US. You can compare on selection, you can judicial process, you can compare on what do you call upper house, lower house. There is n number of things which you can do. Across the assignments and assessments, we will be making you exposed to all possible themes. So you have RPA, you have Panchayat, you have federalism. So you will end up making short notes, and short notes, believe me, write it the way you would write points in the answers. So there's a higher chance that the points would reflect in that format in your answer sheets, right? So, so marking scheme is another thing. Some of you are already part of WCT, right? So I am sure that you are used to getting less than 5 marks for a 10 marker, right? We don't give a lot of marks, right? Because UPSC does not give a lot of marks, right? We don't want a situation where we give you a false sense of hope, where we mark excessively and you get a confidence that, mera to acha chal raha hai. This year, the highest marks is 475 or 480. On an average year, 47% is what top 5, top 3, top rankers get. So our marking is also aligned to that. In a 10 marker, at best, if you're getting 3.75 or more, it's a good score. It can peak up to 4.5 to 5 marks, right? So in a 15 markers, commensurately 5.75 to 7. 7 is exception. Remember this, because then sometimes what happens is that people get a low score, especially parents when they see evaluated WCT copies and all, they feel that you're doing badly when you get 4 marks. But in reality, you're doing great, right? So have a sense of our marking pattern. We don't give a lot of marks at this phase because we don't want you to get complacent, or we don't want you to have a false expectation from this, right? There is no guideline from UPSC what is working or how they evaluate or how much time they spend. There's no RTI where you can get the paper back. So our assessment of what is working is primarily based on toppers' copies. Last year we had 175 toppers who have written with us. All their copies have been uploaded. So every year we see a large number of copies of people who have secured ranks in this examination. So based on that, we reverse engineer. So when we are telling you to add more value addition, it's because more value addition is being seen in people who have scored well. Now, 2 emerging trends which we are seeing in answer writing is that people are giving more than one value addition for some of their best arguments. People are giving sources of the value addition. That means they are not just citing the data, they are also citing the source from which that data has come. Because see, you have to understand that every year the level of the writing goes up. You are aspiring for 2027. So by the time you write 2027 mains, you should also be able to write such kind of value addition in your answers. We are seeing increasing prevalence of pictorial representation of content into answers. Wherever possible, people are drawing maps, diagrams, graphs, pie charts. So while making assignment itself, if you are writing a data, if you are writing a best practice, try to integrate that into your assignments and into your assessment test in a pictorial format. I think I want to show you one of the diagrams. You assume that it should be perfect, and 1 second. It's not your glasses, it's blurred, right? If somebody is trying to remove your glasses and see that, it's the board itself, right? So basically he has drawn a stick figure. There is a path, and then there are thorns, and then there is success. And he's basically pictorially represented that thorns, the path to success is filled with thorns. This is a top 3 rank, 3rd rank, literally. So when you're pictorially representing, see, I have a theory on this, right? Evaluation is an extremely monotonous and boring process. You're reading the same answer again and again and again. Do you think there will be substantial difference between the keywords and the content among a top quality answer? Most people are referring materials, most people are revising, they'll write similar things. And I believe your ability to pictorially represent the content gives a reset in the evaluator, because he's in auto mode. See, I also have a theory that only the initial papers the evaluators are reading, later papers they are doing pattern recognition. They are comparing with what they have already read. They are comparing with something that they have already referred from the solution, right? So I think while writing assignments itself, you should start making maps. You will not be good at making great maps, but make maps. I have seen so many different types of maps. You will not believe the kind of maps that I have seen that, so most people what they do is that, they write figure India. So that, it's clear that it's India map, right? So what I'm saying is that into your assignments, into your assessment tests, integrate pictorial representation of content. At least every page or every answer should have at least one instance. Now you look at many toppers copies and see an amazing diagram, and you think, how do they do that in the examination hall? They planned for it, they prepared for it, they revised it, and that is why it's there in their answer. I've been taking this example since last 2 sessions, that this year a question on India's West Asia policy or how India should deal with the emerging trends in West Asia is a very high probability, right? If a student is able to draw a West Asian map and show where the conflict regions are, it's going to add value. Will everyone do it? No. Who will do it? The ones who planned for it, ones who anticipated it. Can someone draw a timeline and show how the conflict progressed over time? Can be done. Will everyone do it? No. So our goal across the next 15 months is to anticipate the kind of value additions which will reflect in the answers. So if you are writing an answer on Gandhi's participation during a particular phase of the freedom struggle, you should draw a timeline on the various important events that has happened in that phase. Believe me, if you have that timeline in that answer immediately after the introduction, you're going to get half a mark more than your competition. The game is to get half a mark more than the next person. That's what you're going to eventually land with. So your goal is to earn that half a mark more with better handwriting, with better content, with better value addition, with better completion of paper. And that is what we are going to train. We are going to develop that mindset across this program duration to achieve that, one step at a time. None of these things are going to happen magically overnight. You're not going to see any difference in your preparation in the next 1 month, next 2 months. Maybe the 3rd month you feel like, I can write answers now. There's going to be a one point in your journey in the next 6 months where you start feeling that, you give me a question, I'll write. Because anyone who does a task enough number of times develops that ability to do that. So I have had students who come and say that, Prelims का पता नहीं, mains में कोई भी question आए तो मैं लिखूंगा, right? Doesn't matter, because they've seen. And what will eventually happen in this preparation process is that you will see that I can use society in social justice, I can use social justice in ethics, I can use ethics in governance, I can use IR in security, I can use environment in geography, geography in what do you call, let's say agriculture. You're going to see intersections because that's something that we have done in the solutions also. Wherever possible, we have said that, okay, this can be used here, 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 right? So that you're also thinking in that mode. So whenever, see, we had a interview with Akansh Dul after the results, right? So we gave him a keyword and he was able to come up with 20 things in 1 minute. That is the goal. By June 2027, if I tell secularism, you should be able to have a definition, quote, you should have similar keywords which can be used. If I say women empowerment, you should be able to quote female labor force participation. You should know what is the ranking, what is the, what do you call, important personalities you can quote, what is the report. That should be at the tip of your tongue. So we will be doing one thing in the beginning of the course itself. We will be sharing the fact sheets for GS 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll be sharing the glossaries for GS 1, 2, 3, 4 in the beginning of the course so that you can keep integrating the data from that into your assignments, into your assessment test. And when you're writing mains in 2027, we will give you an updated version of it. But you would have internalized those 200-300 pages of facts. So what is our biggest challenge now? We go into rabbit holes. We start searching on, earlier it was Google, now it is Claude or ChatGPT. Right, you're going to put a question that's going to give 20 points, then you're going to put another question, and before you know, you have so much content and you don't know where to use it, right? So we are going to give you the fact sheets, we are going to give you, we have other validation material also for subject specific. You will not have to go for other things beyond this for GS and SA. Are there other things available? Definitely there are n number of things. Don't go behind other things, not because other things are not great. I'm not going to judge what else is being provided. I'm worried about your ability to consume and retain. Somebody asked, how do I retain all these things? One rule is don't go behind too many things. Your retention will be a direct outcome of revision. Revision will be a direct outcome of conciseness of the content that you have. The more you revise, the more you internalize. The more you internalize, the more it will reflect in the answer sheets. We have also seen another syndrome in the previous years. Student has amazing notes, color-coded, post-it, amazing, awesome. But it is not in the answer sheet. If it's not in the answer sheet, it doesn't matter. No UPSC evaluator is going to come home and ask, beta, notes dikhao. Right? They're not going to do that. It should be in the answer sheet. We go to the extent of saying that, you look at, take out your phone, search the data and put it in your answer. I believe that not in the examination hall, not in UPSC, right? I'm saying in a mock test, even if you do that, the act of doing that, your chances of retaining that information is higher. You'll always remember the last thing that you copied and wrote. Because your mind is in panic mode, you're thinking, what if I get caught? We are wired, I think it's evolutionary, right? So if you can even copy something from your assignment into it, every test you write, you should analyze. You should probably take a green pen and add all the things that you could have written. You should probably resequence. Somebody asked, how do I write my arguments in a better order, right? That is the act that you're going to consistently do after the test has been written. You take a green pen, sit with the workbook or the assessment test, and then you write, okay, I should have written a better introduction. You're going to improve because you constantly thought about how to improve. You constantly researched on how to improve. Improvement is not going to happen magically. From today, everything around you is preparation. If you're seeing an example, if you're seeing a keyword that somebody is saying, write it down. It should reflect in your answer. If you're walking on the road and you see something happening, it should be in your ethics answer. If you're watching a documentary and you have seen something, you should be in your answer. Everything that you are going to consume in the next 15 months should be with one primary motive. In your answer, in your notes, it should reflect. And you will be surprised the kind of things that you'll get. I had a topper who recently said that, most people's answers will have a different example for media ethics, but I will quote Meghan Markle's show on Netflix as media ethics. See, niche, differentiated value addition has value. We have a session today at 6 o'clock with A. Raja. He has secured rank 7. If anybody wants to join, you're more than happy to invite you for it, right? What we are doing is that we are going to discuss 2 part A question, 2 code-based questions, and 2 case studies. This guy got 138 marks in ethics. And this is also something that we'll constantly do. I think last week we had another ranker. We'll constantly bring people who have cleared and show how they did it, right? How they were thinking. I had one topper who said that, ye code dalenge, kisi ne to bola hoga, right? They are not writing exactly word to word. They are making intelligent guesses. They are doing calculated guesses, right? And your paper is being judged as a whole and not on. I would not advise you to bluff. I would not advise you to lie, because if you get caught, everything else you have written becomes questionable. But you can always use words like approximately, more than, less than. You don't have to verbatim quote someone, but you can use that idea, right? We're going to hustle our way to great answers over the time, right? So we have talked about this. Mentorship support. See, mentors are available, will be assigned to you on 19th of June, which is day after tomorrow. Initially, we had a plan for only 1 workshop. You will have 2 workshops in the coming days, right? Okay, 2 workshops in the coming days. What we have done is that there will be a dedicated workshop for GS 1 and 2, and then there is a dedicated workshop for 3 and 4. These workshops are basically going to show you how others wrote assignments with practical examples, and also the mentors showing you what are the best practices that they have observed in the way people have written assignments. So don't miss these workshops, because it will give you an idea. This is also something that we started last year. We did not have the workshop culture 2 years back. Everybody was figuring out. Then we realized, why don't we put everyone into a classroom and explain how everyone is writing assignments, show you visually how was the toppers writing assignments, how are people who are able to complete in time. Because some people take too much time because they try to do a lot of things, which is not practical, right? Other than this, testing, so we are constantly talking about the mains phase as of now. You have a 1-week Diwali break, right, which was not there in the first year. So we integrated Diwali break in the second year, which is continuing. If anyone joins the second batch or the third batch, we might have to remove it, because we won't be able to finish it by February if we give that 1-week break, right? Other than this, mentoring we discussed. Workshops, you know what is happening. So value addition material, we have started something this year called as AIM zip notes. Somebody was asking about 1-pagers, right? We have created 200 1-pages, but we gave it in the month of June. We can explore whether we can give it to you early, so that you can integrate that into your preparation. So these are, it's not effectively 1-pager, right? It's 2 to 3 sides. It's 1 page, right? But some of the topics have stretched to the 3rd side. So there are 200 1-pages we have created. We have that ready. We have value addition material, fact sheets. We have glossary. Glossary is a concept we picked up from NCERT. We realized in a lot of NCERT books, after the chapter, there is a glossary. And we have realized that people who are able to integrate subject-specific keywords into the answers are able to get better scores. Because when you integrate subject-specific keywords into the answers, it gives a feeling of competence, right? And we want you to integrate that into your assignments and assessment tests. We have essay value addition material also, where we have taken broader themes and developed content around it with examples, with books, with anecdotes, with counter examples. This thing is also something, essay will start in the 2nd phase after August. So there we will end up writing a few essays also, right? Handouts, paper-specific fact sheets, keywords, glossaries, 1-pages, all these things will be provided. Scaffolding test we discussed. Ethics, we have something called as Ethics Enhancer program, which is provided post prelims. Some of you are part of foundation, so you are familiar with the ecosystem. It will be a 25 hours program, which will be given by Pati sir. Essay post prelims, we have essay guidance program, which will be taken by Ruchika ma'am. During the mains, during the pre-phase, we will have our own mentors doing all these things from our end, right? So this is what a week looks like. Monday assignment, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday assignment, Saturday revision, and Sunday assessment test. don't miss the tests, don't miss the assignments, right? We wanted to do something. We created this, okay, again, it is a gimmick, I understand, but I believe in these things. It's called as a statement of declaration, right? It has name, what is your target prelim score, how many hours of the day are you committing, one thing that you will stop doing from today, why will this attempt be different in one sentence. We'll circulate this, I want you guys to write this. This will be scanned and uploaded on your dashboard, right? Every time we don't see you for a few days, we're going to send a snapshot of this to you, right? See, we are trying everything on our end, gimmick, non-gimmick, reminders, calls, we'll try. Many of you are sitting here because of the word of mouth of the program, right? It's built on gimmicks like this. Can we distribute? So I want you to take 10 minutes and fill this up. Put your name and, put your name and email address on the backside, name, mobile number on the backside of the statement of declaration. We made it look like the US Declaration of Rights, Bill of Rights. It looks like that, right? I want you to take 2 minutes, think, write it down. We will collect it at the end of the session. Okay. You guys filled up that form, no? We have developed a profile of each student based on that. Like, what time do you study? Like, what is your optional? So that when a mentor looks at your dashboard, they'll be able to have a rough understanding of, if anyone who has not filled up that form yet, I think now would be a good time to finish that. Right. So put your name and mobile number. Name is already on the front. Put your mobile numbers on the back so that it will be a unique, the registered mobile number so that we are able to identify you. These are the other things which will be part of the joining kit. This is a calendar. Earlier it was A3, but it was too bulky. So we decided it should be something that you should be able to put in front of your table. The schedule is integrated into this, so you know where what subject is starting. We have left tick boxes for you to tick, that if you have written the test or assignment or something, you can hang this in your. We started this last year. This is called as the AIM journey sheet. It's basically the total number of weeks from today to mains 2026. And each box is a day. So if the day went well, you make it green. Not so great, yellow. So you'll see, perfection will not be all green. There'll be greens, yellow, red, then back to green. You're gonna fall, right? You're gonna fail, you're gonna lose momentum, but the idea is to get back. This is something that you can put up in your room and you can keep shading away. We have these syllabus stickers, which you can put up in front of your study area where you know what subjects are starting. And this is another set of gimmicks, all these laptop stickers and mobile stickers and all. There's even a do not disturb subject sticker for the door, right? It's basically saying, please do not disturb, aim in progress, right? So you can use these stuff. And there's a bag. I'm hoping this becomes a fashion statement, right? We have increased the size of the handle, so it's a tote bag now, right? Otherwise, it's like something that you take to the shop to buy vegetables, right? So you can use it. It's big enough to carry a few workbooks and your stuff, right? This will be there for the offline. Online, because we have to courier everything, this is not included. This is only in the offline. I like to say things in advance so that later people don't come and clarify that, right? Other than this, what else? Anything that we have not covered? As a prelims phase, I think that's an entire area, right? We have 3 phases within prelims. One is the conceptual testing. First year, what we did was that we put a prelims test also on Sunday, year 1. But people were not able to do it because they were already exhausted writing all the assignments. First phase, first year, it was 6 days assignment. It was not 5 days. It was 6 days assignment. And then Sunday, it was 2 tests. So it did not work. So we pulled the 6th-day assignment. We increased the number of questions per day. And then we removed the conceptual tests, the prelims tests from Sunday. And second year, we made prelims workbooks. That means a polity prelims workbook where you had all polity prelims questioned into a book. That also we realized people are not doing it. So third year, we created a phase out of those workbooks. We call it the conceptual phase. So in the conceptual phase, what happens is that we start with PYQs and NCRT-based questions. One second. There's a 2-week break out here. So if you have lost out something, you can use this phase to recover. In the second batch, which starts in July, this phase will not be there. We'll have to put that into the preparation mode. So in prelims conceptual testing phase, you have 6 days a week tests, Monday to Saturday, and you have all half tests. So 1 week for polity, 1 week for economy, 1 week for geography. So every week we will have a prelims conceptual test. We will start CSAT in October. You'll have CSAT PYQ practice sheets and CSAT value addition sessions from October. Because we believe that students will be in a panic mode from November, December onwards, because prelims is your problem. Even when you look at the subject selections, here we are putting subjects which are prelims-oriented subjects. Science and tech, environment, modern history, art and culture, I think which cumulatively ideally accounts for, I'm using ideally because UPSC can change the composition of the paper, right? Ideally, these 4 subjects accounts for 30 questions, right? This year, I think it was higher. If you take modern history, art and culture, environment, science and tech, I think it's around 40 questions. So we'll start that in that phase. So prelims conceptual testing happens for 1 month. Then we start the prelims analytical testing from 2nd February, right? Conceptual phase starts from, what you call, analytical phase starts from 2nd February. Here what happens is that you have alternate days testing, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and you have CSAT test also every week. Cumulatively in this phase, we will do 70 tests from January to May. 70 MCQ tests will be there. Value addition material, places in news, species in news, value addition sessions, all those things will be integrated into the prelims phase. We experiment with a lot of questions. We try new types of questions. We have a reasonable thematic hit in terms of prelims. So prelims phase is from December to May. Then again, post prelims phase is from June to August, right? Prelims phase, we have what you call question papers which has good analytics, solutions are there. We also collect probability of your correctness with respect. So under each question, we have put a box where we collect how sure are you with respect to this, which can be integrated into the portal, and you can estimate what is the correlation between your bluff and how many were correct. So we have tried to quantify those parts, right? A demo video of how the portal works will be uploaded on your portal by 20th. We don't have Telegram, right? Right now it's inactive, right? So we are not in a position. I know we have collected all your Telegram handles and all to create the channel, but we are not in a position to create it because it's not there, right? So once it gets active, we will create the Telegram group, and we will also put all the value addition material, all the intimation regarding the courses and everything on the Telegram group. You will get calls when you are falling behind. Some of the students blocked our numbers, right? Right? I think one of the students said, "Aapko kya farak padta hai?" We have different types of mentors. Some were a little too strict, some can be a little too aggressive, right? But our intentions are clear. I think other than your parents, if anyone wants you to clear, it's us, right? There is no bias on our side because there's no conflict of interest. It's in our best interest that you clear. So when we call or when we message, we send a lot of emailers, we send a lot of messages. Calls are not as frequent, but what happens is that every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we identify all the people who are not active, and then we call and we check. 50% of the people don't pick up, right? This is reality, because maybe you're not familiar with the number, or maybe our number is showing spam, right? Because you have called so many people, right? Other than this, yeah. Offline. All tests offline and online is available. In AIM, we don't have a clear offline only, online only. It's hybrid. In case if you miss a test in an offline mode a particular week or a day, you can apply that in online mode. So we have not kept it that rigid, right? Uh, we don't have a space for you to sit and write assignments. You can write assignments and come and meet the mentors. Mentors are available in Tagore House. Some of you have taken your counseling and all in Tagore House, right? We have an option on the portal now where mentors will show available time. Slots are announced on the basis of which it is initially booked. First 2 weeks will be chaos because everyone is trying to access everything. It will settle down. Believe me, we have done this enough number of times. And you might experience some challenge in the first 2 weeks. Material content evaluation, there will not be there. But mentorship-wise, first 2 weeks is a little chaotic. The team is extremely hardworking. Most of them have been working with us for years. They know what they're doing, right? They have your best interest in place. Everybody has their own style of mentoring. Sometimes it takes a certain amount of time to align with that style, right? Other than this, anything else anybody wants to ask? Now is a good time. We will have frequent workshops, strategy sessions, aimed on spot sessions. We'll do as many as possible over the period of the time, right? Anything? Tomorrow we have a workshop. Day after tomorrow we have workshop. Day after tomorrow, 19th we can collect, 19th, 20th we can collect the workbooks. We'll send you a message regarding all these things. Assignments are not answer writing. Assignments are note making. Yeah, right.
They are also note making.
Right.
They are not good enough. Then
no.
How are we supposed to update them? Like,
see, that's what assessment test is, answer writing. That is being evaluated. That you will have the scaffolding sheet to improve. The mentors will give you feedback on how to write, and there will be a discussion video. It's an iterative process. You will not see magical improvement on day one. So whatever test is happening on Sunday is based on the assignments that you have written from Monday to Friday. That is the syllabus. So the content will be already built. And from that, we will be asking UPSC. The difference between assignment question and assessment test question is that assessment test and questions will be similar to UPSC. Even some PYQs will be there in the assessment test. Right? Anybody else? So again, Monday, day one. Till then you have your time, right? After Monday it's on us, right? We have your time. Like CMD sir said, this is a program where you do all the work. We will stand and watch. We'll give you all the support, right? Our goal is to give you the best possible support and value addition and activity. It's an activity-oriented program, so we are expecting you to, right? People develop muscles on their fingers by the time this program gets over because of the amount of writing you will do. Handwriting, keep in mind. From day one, try to fix your alphabets, try to fix your spacing. Whatever you do across the next 6 months, you will see transformative changes in the way you are doing, right? Fix a time in the day for this, right? Maybe you wake up early, finish some part of it, then you do your rest of your work. I'm sure there are working candidates, there are people who have other responsibilities also. Find out that 4 or 5 hours in the day, 5 or 6 hours in the day where you can do this. You can split it. You can either do research and sit down and write all the things together. Or if you are not in the mode to research, you go 1 day late and start taking from this thing. Don't use AI to do the research because then you will be outsourcing your cognitive abilities, right? Because then you will not be able to, you don't have the access to these tools on the examination hall. So you will not develop that thinking on the spot, original thinking, right? AI is a good tool for dimensions, but it's become a rabbit hole. I know that we all have used it at some point. It doesn't end. It accumulates, and then you're looking at a large volume of content and thinking what to do now, right? So this is a reset, right? I think I'll take one more example. I think pre-2012 Virat Kohli and post-2012 Virat Kohli. He was always a great player. He had the mindset, but he changed his life, his routine. He stopped eating butter chicken. He started waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. This is that phase. You all are sitting here because you have the mindset to crack this examination. Maybe till now you did not have the discipline or the system or the process to do this. This is that day. Let's reset everything from Monday. Maybe give a fixed amount of time. Consistently, day after day. Like Shruti Wala said, if you're joining this program, don't take today's work to tomorrow. Today's work is today. You finish it off. Before you go to sleep, finish it off, right? Thank you so much for your time. It's a great responsibility for us. We hope to meet your expectation. We are always available on mail. You know where I sit. I am on the first floor in the corner. You can walk in anytime. You have my email addresses. You can write to me, right? In case if somebody wants my number, you can, I don't share it on public domain, but if somebody wants my number, you can mail me and I'll share my number also, right? All the best, right? Thank you. Okay, there are some online queries. I'll take up that. If any online student wants to come and pick up the workbooks, we will circulate a form tomorrow, and you can fill up the form, and if you want to pick up the books in the offline center, we'll keep it reserved for you. If we are couriering it, it's expected to take a few more days to reach. What we usually do is that on week 1, we share the PDF of the assignments so that you don't stop, you don't wait for the books to arrive, right? So you can come and pick up. We'll circulate a form. You express your intent to come and pick up so that we can inform the book department that despite being an online student, you want to collect the books offline, right? Thank you. Yes, please give back the declaration of AIM declaration, right? You can collect. When you're leaving, you can give at the doors. Maybe somebody can be there. Collect it from there. You can give the document. Make sure that you have put your mobile numbers on the back so that we can identify and upload it on your portal. Right? Thank you so much.